Welcome back to The Charismatic Voice. I don't think I've ever had a worse introduction to a band. The first time I heard Avenged Sevenfold, it was in a song that was dedicated to their recently passed away drummer. It was very sweet and touching, but just a weird place to start. Then a bunch of you recommended a song about necrophilia, which I tried to listen to, and it turns out I'm just not into that. So, the fact that I'm back again is a testament to how much you all keep recommending them. Let's get to it. Whoa. As each of these sounds entered, every single one struck me with how clear they were and how vibrant they were. Just immediately shout out to recording, mixing, mastering team. Everybody plays a piece in making these sounds so fantastic. But wow, I almost felt like I was in the room with all of these instruments. Brilliant job, y'all. Also, I was really surprised I didn't have sound and wondered if I'd made a mistake. Like, that verb, the long tail, so good. The placement of the sounds, right? Left, drums, dead center. That's a very common choice for drums. And that kick is so present. Huh. So before we have any vocals in here, I'm just gonna go out here and say this reminds me so much of Metallica. The riffs are really powerful. Everything is very heavy. There's a lot of space between them as well. It feels like Metallica. It's so strange. Like, very heavy aggression.
Watch your tongue or have it cut from your head. Save your life by keeping whispers unsaid. Children roam the streets, now orphans of war. Bodies hanging in the streets to adore.
Even when we get the vocals in, I'm still getting strong Metallica vibes. The way he's singing here is very, very direct. Lots of distortion on the sound too. There's no sense of that any kind of, I'm going to marinate the sound, let it go back up here, maybe twirl over the top and then come out my eyes. No, none of that classical fluffiness we like to put in sometimes. Just straight out direct. James Hetfield definitely sings in that fashion too. I did hear some difference in the enunciation though. It sounded like a little, different accent in there as well. I'm going to go back. I think the vocals are going to evolve to a different spot. I imagine, because the little bits that I've heard of M, I think that starts for Matthew, right? So just M Shadows is what it usually goes by. But anyhow, the little bit that I've heard of his voice, was really soft and tender, and then I've tried to erase the other part with the necrophilia. So this is very, very different.
Watch your tongue or have it cut from your head. Save your life by keeping whispers unsaid. Children roam the streets, now orphans of war. Bodies hanging in the streets to adore. Oil flames will cover path in chaos, bringing daylight to the night. Death is riding into town with armor. They come to take all your rights. Hail to the king. Hail to the world. Kneel to the crown. Stand in the sun. Hail to the king.
Wow. I want to come back and talk about a few vocal things in here. Overall, he sounds like he's got just a little more natural depth to his tone than James Hetfield does. But one of the things that I think both of them really do well is having this continuity in the sound. That aggression is there and it stays there. It's present throughout the range. I think if you're going to go for that really ballsy upfront sound, if you're not immediately introducing the idea of a sort of ebb and flow in the tone and the dynamics, if you back off of that sound, it's going to sound weak. So you need to have continuity. Maybe in a bridge we'll get a different kind of color, but I think it's impressive continuity of tone so far. There's a particular way, though, that he's getting into some of those vocals in the chorus. I think we just hit the first chorus. I want to talk about that technique. So we're going to go back a little more.
Save your life by keeping whispers unsaid. Children roam the streets, now orphans of war. Bodies hanging in the streets to adore.
That's a really good example of what we're about to hear more of in the chorus. I'm going to go back to it one more time.
Orphans of war. Bodies hanging.
So before bodies, I think this is so funny. Most people don't realize that a B is made in the same way as an M as far as the articulation point. B. So if somebody is going to sort of like wiggle into a B, they have to get through an M first. So a lot of times, if you're hearing a singer linger on the consonant or try to give extra weight to the consonant, you will hear mb. Check that out one more time.
Children roam the streets, now orphans of war. Bodies hanging in the
Once you hear it, you can't unhear it. Bodies. It's like they're delighting in the bodies. Oh, gosh.
roam the streets, now orphans of war. Bodies hanging in the streets to adore. Oil flames will cover path in chaos, bringing daylight to the night. Death is riding into town with armor. They come to take all your rights. Hail to the king. Hail to the world.
This is so cool. This is the way he's getting into the initial sound on each of these phrases in the chorus is really adding to the aggression in the sound. This is beginning with an H. I know we're getting very specific about consonants here, but stick with me because the consonants are where a lot of this powerful aggression is coming through in the overall quality of sound. So we have an H consonant, right? If you just say an H on your own, there's no tone. We hear air, but we don't hear a pitch, not huh. The moment you start to have a pitch, then we start to get into a vowel, but you can sort of fudge between the two. And that's what he does here. He actually does this like almost like a grunt slide up underneath the H. And that gives it this, it's like almost like a growl going into the sound. Check it out.
They come to take all your rights. Hail to the king.
It's almost like sometimes we'll describe something as hooking when somebody will sort of bounce off of a lower note to take that power up into a higher one. You see that a lot with operatic tenors. It'll be like, right, that kind of thing. That's a hook. But here it sounds like it's using a similar idea that's essentially bringing this weight, giving more punch by bringing it up from the bottom.
Make up the take all your rights. Hail to the king. Hail to the world. Kneel to the crown.
And even right before kneel, he even puts a little extra sound in right there. So overall, the theme in this chorus of how it's getting extra power and aggression is all sitting with the sounds that are made right before he starts the long phrase singing.
Stand in the sun.
Oh, go back one more row.
Stand in the sun.
Shoot, back further. I don't know this song, right? Here we go.
Hail to the king. Hail to the world. Kneel
A kneel.
Stand in the sun.
And he's really deliberate about getting that ST in before the actual beat hits. This is another really cool way that you can improve your rhythm as a singer or listen to singers and how they create rhythm in their voice. When we think about singing, we're usually thinking about these sort of floaty melodies and we rely on other instruments to create a sense of rhythm. But singers create rhythm with consonants. And when those consonants close and open is key. With stand, I think that's our phrase there, the ST happens before the beat so that it opens to on the beat. Stand, stand. And he lingers on those in a similar way to the previous phrases. He lingers on that sound and opens it up right on the beat.
Stand in the sun. Hail to the king.
Really good example of that phonation under hail again, under that H.
Blood is spilled while holding keys to the throne. Born again, but it's too late to atone. No mercy from the edge of the blade. Dare escape and learn the price to be paid. Let the
His attention to detail with these consonants is awesome. And the continuity and how he's approaching them is really impressive. It doesn't let down at any point. Let's talk about final consonants now instead of initial consonants. Check this out. After every single one in this last bit, there is a shadow vowel. I'll let it play once and we'll come back and talk more about what a shadow vowel is. Oh, a shadow vowel. Okay, sorry.
hail to the king. Blood
Here we
is
go.
spilled while holding keys to the throne. Born again, but it's too late to atone. No mercy from the edge of the blade. Dare escape and learn the price to be paid.
Okay. So all of these final words had a consonant at the end, right? Just ended with a consonant. Throne was one of them. Throne. If I'm just going to speak it, it's throne. But when he sings it, it's throne. And there's a schwa at the end, meaning this sort of neutral vowel that he actively gives extra voice to. Throne. Blade. This is really common to hear with opera singers like Pavarotti singing Italian, like ba, da, 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 ba, that kind of sound. Gosh, that was a terrible example, but you get the point. Shadow vowels are things that he really likes, named after him. Not really. Okay, one more time.
Keys to the throne.
No.
Born again, but it's too late to atone. No mercy from the edge of the blade. Dare escape and learn the price to be paid.
Just a quick note, James Hetfield also loves shadow vowels. So if someone was to really study his style, I would expect them to bring that in. And I think that that is such a useful sound for this kind of aggressive, powerful style because it is further sending that impact of sound out. It is like, I'm not going to keep this in at all. No, I'm just going to continue to blast it out even past my last consonant. Let's keep going. Nice diphthong. That was lovely. I think when I get a constant sound with just distortion all the time, sometimes I wonder if the person's able to back off of it. I actually know that he can from the other singing I've heard, but I hadn't heard it very present in this song yet. But when he went up to his top note in there, we got a lot of cleanliness actually in his sound. Often people actually will bring more distortion in at the top. They find it's easier. And by him going up to the top and getting some cleans in there, I think it's so indicative that he's able to tastefully add or take away distortion in his sound as he sees fit. Right there, clean. Even those calls, they remind me of just tons of successful metal bands when they're able to put in some sort of call that the audience wants to be involved in. I feel that that is just very smart writing. One more time. Stand in the sun, out of the king. Ooh. I know, I just paused a guitar solo. Oh, you guys are going to roast me. But right before this, there was a little backing kind of sound. And that made me realize I haven't spoken to backing vocals. There have been some very subtle times when it's layered in, like an octave lower here or there. I think that the production of the sound overall has been extraordinary, because we aren't necessarily aware of some of the things that they're doing, but it increases the experience of the overall sound. I feel like everything is incredibly clear, even though some of those subtle things, like, they're not necessarily clear. So they add them in without it becoming muddy. It's just so much good going on in the production. Right there. Cool. Ooh. I like this guitar solo. It reminded me a little bit of Iron Maiden, but just it feels epic. It feels the way I want a metal guitar solo to feel. There are moments where I want to sing along with it, but it also introduces like some exotic, almost like sexy moments into the melody. It's very appealing. I guess that's the best word for it, appealing. And then there are moments where it went really high and then really low. And I'm like, yeah, that would be hard to sing. Especially at the end there. That was cool. The slides too. Ooh, yes. Thank you for a delightful guitar solo. That. I really, really like that part. One more time. There's that amazing kick again.
There's a taste of fear when the henchmen call. I am fist to tame the limb. I am fist to claim it all. Hail to the king.
Wow. So he's in a lower part of his range there, and the way that he's singing and adding distortion, it sounds so healthy to me. I've been very involved in some research into harsh vocals, distortion, the vocalists add essentially. And there are ways acoustically that we can start to split this idea of true vocal folds being the sound source for the pitch and other things being a source for distortion. It's just fascinating how I hear his sound and I go, oh yeah, no, that's really healthy. I think it's something that a person's ears have to become accustomed to. And you say, oh, how do you know? And I can't tell you exactly all of the acoustic properties that let me know that that's healthy right now. But hopefully I'll be able to tell you soon as we aggregate a bunch of data and eventually release it to the world. So working on it is the answer. And overall impression is that's healthy. I like the way he's focused his sound there a lot as well. It doesn't sound like he's pushing, but he's still able to maintain that aggression and power.
There's a taste of fear when the henchmen call. I am fist to tame the limb. I am fist to claim it all. Hail to the king.
I like that little bit of harmony too. I haven't talked at all about these lyrics yet. We got to give a little bit of lip service here to what this is about. And I really dig the fact that they had a female in the part of power at one point. Yay, thank you. It's not always males who are dictators, right? So I found it fascinating reading through the lyrics the way it's a tough subject that they're dealing with. Essentially, a dictator coming in, completely taking over things and demanding absolute obedience, right? It's like the definition of a tyrant. And so somebody's yelling, "Hail to the king." This is the chorus. Like, this is the part everybody's supposed to sing along with. And I think as the audience is singing along this, they want them to feel uncomfortable because they presented all of these horrible images of what this tyrant has done. This song is gritty, and I think it's perfectly expressed with metal music. The combination of the lyrics and the music, mwah, back just a little.
When the henchmen call, I am fist to tame the limb. I am fist to claim.
A little bluesy there.
Hail to the king. Hail to the one. Kneel to the
Nice guitar harmony too.
stand in the sun. Hail to the king. Hail to the one. Kneel to the ground. Stand in the sun. Hail to the king.
I just have to say, once again, amazing production. I'm getting just very, very clear sounds in the drums. They feel extremely full, but it doesn't feel to me like they're ever encroaching on the vocal or the enunciation of the vocal or the distortion of the vocal, all things that the drums can encroach on. So congrats, team, on that. Wow.
Hail to the one. Kneel to the ground. Stand in the sun. Hail to the king.
Ooh, fade out. Whoa. Finally, I feel like maybe I understand what Avenged Sevenfold's core sound actually is, and not these sort of weird one-offs that I heard first. This is the sound that would place them among the metal greats. If you want to hear what I think of some of those other metal great sounds, you can check out this playlist over here, and may you fall more in love with music every day.